you need to work harder, you need to do more. This is why your plan isn't working, because you're just not doing enough. How many times have you seen this message? How many times have you told yourself this? Okay, we're talking about how we are going to release this hard work badge once and for all. All right, so before we get into this episode, thank you for tuning in to the TamaraTamu Collective, where dreams have no filter. If you have not already, go to my website, iconicbytamu.com, and you can actually see the collective. The collective, it shows all of my ventures, beauty, my books, my art, my apparel. It's all there. Take a look, check it out. But come back to the YouTube channel as well, all right? So let's get into this episode today. That hard work badge. It is still hovering like a dark cloud. It's still hovering like a completely dark cloud. I just want it to go away. I want it to go away. So the first thing I want to say is this. Any labor, any work that you choose needs to bring you joy. It needs to allow you to operate in your genius. It needs to be an avenue for your soul to be expressed. So that's first and foremost. I'm going to bring it up again at the end, but I want to get that in your mind right now. Any labor, any work that you choose needs to bring you joy, needs to be an avenue for your genius. It needs to be an avenue for your creativity. It needs to be an avenue for your soul to be expressed. All right? So, why has hard work been a badge? Why is it a badge? Why is it rewarded so much? I'm going to tell you a story. All right, so my story started off with the hard work idea, which then equated to struggle idea. Okay, I started off high school. I started off high school with it. I started off college with the hard work idea. You do hard work to show yourself worthy. All right. Hard work meant that forget about joy. Please, this is hard work. Forget about loving what you do. You don't get to love what you do. This is hard work. So I did all of that, took on that identity and wore it. Okay, was committed to it. I washed it with my clothes. I ironed it, took care of it. I wore it. All right. Used it all throughout college. I worked the multiple jobs in going to school, did the internships, which hated all of them, by the way. And I remember my last internship that I had, I worked very hard. And I was getting a lot of attention, people coming to me. I actually, had someone tell me, you're working so hard. We're going to have a position, in our marketing department waiting for you when you graduate. And I was like, yes. See, My hard work paid off. Well, the time came for me where it was 2 months before graduation. And, went and had my talk about how I was doing in my internship and the whole review and all of that. And I brought that conversation back up, and crickets. No one knew what I was talking about. I was told, oh, well, we didn't say that. So that was my first experience of the whole, hard work idea not panning out the way that you think it was supposed to. So, and that's just one experience. So then, I went to, had my, I guess you could say first real job out of college. Same thing happened. Worked very hard. When the time came for me to get that promotion, I got the promotion for the same amount of money. So it wasn't really a promotion. They just wanted me to do more work. So that was another incident. And then I took the same idea to design school. That was a completely different experience, even just from undergrad. You worked hard. Sleeping was a luxury because you were told that this is what you have to do. If you want not even a actual design job, but a design internship where you weren't paid. If you want a design internship, this is the hard work that you have to put in. This is what you have to do. If you have to drink coffee all night to stay up, this is what you have to do. So once again, I've got my hard work badge is on. It is on. By this time, it may as well been a tattoo. It was there. It was branded. Okay? So I took that on. And I have many examples I won't get into, but I'll just give one that pretty much gives a picture of what my experience was after applying for job after job after job. Well, you don't have all the experience. But I don't have the experience, but look at all my hard work. You don't have the experience, but look at all my hard work. You don't have the experience, but my hard work. Okay? So just to give you an example, then I took that same idea, still working with the same idea, right, into working just general jobs, not even in design. There were times I had 3 jobs at one time. It didn't matter that I was suffering mentally. My body, I wasn't taking care of my body. I had gotten down. I don't even know how much I weighed, but I looked at a picture where I got so small. I didn't even recognize my own self in this picture. That's bad when you don't recognize yourself in a picture, because that's how that I wasn't eating, wasn't taking the time to eat, and I was literally running off of caffeine and coffee. But because of my badge, my hard work badge, it didn't matter, because again, my hard work showed that I was worthy. It didn't matter that that hard work was not doing my body any good. It wasn't doing my money any good. Oh, but we're not finished. Then carried on the badge once I started to, once I finished design school and the design jobs were not panning out, I pushed design to the side. Years went by, and then I said, well, I was still working 3 jobs, and so even when I decided to get back into design and actually officially start my business, the badge was still there. See how you get so used to existing and being in a certain way. I didn't stop to say, well, wait a minute. How can I go about this a little bit differently? And I did not dare ask, how can this be easier for me? How can this flow for me? Is there a way where I don't have to grind and grind and grind? Oh no, I didn't ask that. Instead, I did more and more and more. And get this, the more that I did, the further I got away from enjoyment, the further I got away from fulfillment, which led to crash into a brick wall, pure exhaustion. There was no fun from the very beginning. What I want to tell you is we are not meant to exist like that. That's why I started off this conversation with telling you that any labor or any work that you choose, you have a right to expect for it to bring you joy, for it to be an avenue to express your genius, and for your soul to be fulfilled. So, back to the badge. So what did the badge become? It became a security blanket. Even though it seemed as if nothing was panning out for me, I still was putting in that hard work and adding more and more and more and more. Because in my mind, to add more and more and more increased my worthiness. If I just keep doing this, I just have to keep showing I'm worthy. I just have to keep showing I'm worthy. To show that I was doing something, not understanding that the more that I held on to that badge, that was causing more and more resistance to my desire. It was literally repelling my desire. Wearing the hard work badge will have you doing the same thing, not because you're getting desired results, but because of the false comfort that it can bring you. Okay? That's what the hard work badge does. So then what happens is, because I see a lot of, people say, and listen, don't send me any comments about this. I am not saying that those, that work 3 jobs are not, it doesn't mean anything. No, because I worked 3 jobs and no one could ever tell me that didn't mean anything. Okay, it meant something to me. Okay, if it means something to you, no one can take that away. That's not what I'm saying. So again, don't leave me any comments about that. All right. What happens is, you see people saying, I work multiple jobs, I do this, I do that, I do. And then they say, well, at least I have this. And sometimes, people will say that because that's their way of saying, well, I'm grateful. I appreciate what I have. And that's wonderful. That's not what this is about. Going back to, well, at least I have. First of all, you were not born to have the least of anything. That is survival mode. That is survival mode. You were put here to thrive, to flourish. Do you understand? You're put here to flourish. So when you say, at least I have this, well, at least I have that, that's survival mode. We were not designed to exist in that way every single day for every single thing. I don't care what anyone says. Also, with that multiple job or hard work badge, what happens is, perhaps because of disappointment, because of what has happened in the past, your work becomes a way for you to keep something from happening. It becomes a way for you to avoid something bad that you don't want. So for example, when I was working hard on my business, I forgot why I started it. I forgot. And all of my actions became very forced, very frantic, because all of my actions were geared toward doing more to avoid something bad, doing more to avoid failure, doing more to avoid going back to working 3 and 4 jobs at one time. Hard work equals survival. We were put here to flourish. So I said all that to say this. You will have people that will still say, well, in order to work in something that you love, or to, I don't even want to use the word labor, because even labor sounds like a chore, but to work in something that you love, then you must work hard in all these other things that you can't stand to get to be able to work in what you love. So basically what people who give that message, basically what they're saying is you have to delay your joy. And what I'm saying to you in this video is no, you do not. And that's what that hard work badge does. It makes you think that you have to delay your joy instead of saying, no, wait a minute. I can actually create wealth. I can actually create income doing what I love to do. I am powerful enough to get ideas on how to exist in my genius with ease and in flow while still receiving large amounts of money, while still having increased income, while still building wealth. You can have all of that. All right? So I know that this video helped you. And so I want to say thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the TamaraTamu Collective, where dreams have no filter. And also a reminder about the 75-minute transformative session that I now am doing. They are one-on-one sessions where it's a way for us to uncover any blocks, any feelings, any emotions, any limiting beliefs that you may have had up until this point. We recognize them, not out of judgment, but we recognize them. We observe them. We're not trying to fix them, but we're going internally to access our power, to rise above them, to access our true identity so that we can embrace the highest vision that we have for ourselves, for our lives. All right, the link to sign up for a session, the link is in the description box. And if you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments. And until next time, cheers.